Hello, how are you? Thank you very much for joining today. My name is TK Nagasaki. This is a program for peace and also conversation of peace conversation. So we try to talk about peace, but then not like a formal way, but rather relaxed and then, out of our own mind. So today we have Mr. Steve Leeper. He has been very, very active for a long time for the part of peace creating. And so I don't know when was the first time I met you, but anyway, so I understand you went to Japan 1984. And then, which is, I came to the 1985 to the United States.
To New York?
So it's I was actually came to the California, San Francisco. So, but that was the 1985. So it's like an exchange program.
We switched countries.
Right? We switched the country, really. So, but anyway, so thank you very much, Steve, to join this kind of a 75th special program, Atomic Bomb 75th anniversary special program. So we try to invite some of the people who've been active for the peace and peace building, and so they can share and their thoughts and basically peace conversation. So welcome.
Well, thank you for doing this, and thanks for letting me be part of it. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, and then you have a little coffee or tea or something that you can relax. So Kampai. Thank you. Welcome to this show or program. First of all, of course, maybe it would be nice to I know you probably, but maybe people who are watching this don't know. So if you don't mind, just briefly explain, how you're involved for the peace, or maybe just a simple background that you have. That would be great.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, I was, I was on my way to becoming a family therapist. That was my idea. I studied psychology in school, and I was in graduate school, and I was going to become a family therapist. Then I got recruited by a company that is doing conflict resolution consulting in companies. Okay, companies. So then I'm doing that. Then I decide, I should do that for Japanese companies, because that's my, that's a place that I can sell myself, because I can speak Japanese and English. So I was going to do conflict resolution consulting between Japanese and American companies. And I went to Tokyo for that purpose with the president of my company that I was working with. And as soon as we got there, the contract that I was supposed to do fell apart. It didn't work. So I was supposed to go home. Instead, I went to Hiroshima because I had friends there from Atlanta, Georgia. I was living in Atlanta, and some of my Atlanta friends, one of my good friends was the principal of the international school there.
Oh, okay.
Well, I went to just say hi and goodbye, and I had no intention of staying. But when I got there, I went to the YMCA because my father worked for the YMCA in Japan when I was very little.
So you have a long time relation with Japan then?
Yeah. I went to Japan before you were born. I went to Japan in 1948. Showa 22 年. I went. 23年. I went to Japan.
That's before you're alive. Before you're born. Even.
I was 1 year old at that time.
1 year old. Oh, okay.
And then So I went to the Y, and we were having a party talking about my father, who died working for the YMCA. And then the guy in the English teaching school said, "Hey, one of our English teachers is missing. Can you teach English?"
Sure.
And so I said, "Yeah, sure," because I just lost my job. And the company wanted me to wait for 2 years before starting a branch office in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's a long time.
So I thought, okay, 2 years, I'll teach English in Hiroshima. I will study Japanese and Japanese culture. Then I'll go back to Atlanta and start this branch office.
Sure.
So that was the plan. But when I got to when I got to Hiroshima, Hiroshima was really becoming an international city. There were several reasons for that. One is that Mazda, the motor company in Hiroshima, went to Flat Rock, Michigan. and started a company there.
Oh,
So a lot of Japanese companies had to go there. Another is that Hiroshima had created mayors for peace, which is cities who are opposing nuclear weapons, a network of cities.
Is that the
So
Akiba at that
I
time,
got
or-
involved with those things,
okay.
even though I didn't care about peace at all. I had no interest in peace, no interest in politics.
Oh,
I
okay.
just wanted to make money. That's all.
Sure.
And but in Hiroshima, gradually I learned about peace, and I really understood that unless we have a peaceful world, we can't solve any of the other problems that we are facing.
Okay.
I was interested in environment, for example. I joined
sure.
Friends of the Earth, but it became obvious that the environmental problem cannot be solved if we are fighting each other. We have to cooperate to
Right.
control CO2 or plastic in the ocean or coronavirus, any of these things
Well,
require-
yeah, sure.
a certain amount of cooperation.
Right,
And
right.
so
yeah, definitely.
peace suddenly became very important to me. And I started getting more involved with translating of hibakusha or survivor testimony.
Right, right. Yeah.
And I was involved with, soon we started translating for the museum and the exhibitions and the special exhibitions, that kind of thing. So
Right.
I got more and more involved in peace. And then in 1998, India and Pakistan became nuclear countries, right?
Yeah,
They
that's right.
they did their nuclear tests.
Yeah, I remember.
And at that point, everyone got all excited. In India, some activists came from India and Pakistan to Hiroshima and said, you have to come over and talk to our people about nuclear weapons because, you know, we are thinking that nuclear weapons are great now. So you have to tell us how bad they are. So I and another friend of mine and my whole company, we became half translation and consulting, half peace activist company.
really?
And that was in the year 1999.
Okay.
And then after that, we started going to India and Pakistan and working more directly on peace activities. And that led to me working for Mayors for Peace officially for the city.
Oh, so
and
before
I
it was not official.
went to, I became the U.S. representative for, and that's when I met you. Because the city of Hiroshima sent me to New York. And I began trying to get to know the people who are working against nuclear weapons. And you are one of them. And I went to your temple and I attended some, I think it was, it was a seminar or a speech. Someone was making a speech about nuclear weapons, but you were also having a festival. There was food and other kind of events. I mean, music, food and music and other things were going on there.
Yeah, tempo is
anyway. That's when I first knew that this guy TK is in New York, being a priest and a peace activist. So that was. Anyway, that was my introduction to you. And then after that, I have been working for the city, Mayors for Peace, and then I became the chairman of the Peace Culture Foundation. I quit that in 2013, and since 2015, I have been trying to create a peace culture village.
Right. That's
where I am now. I'm out in the mountains on a farm 2 hours from Hiroshima. And the Peace Culture Village is a peace training camp where people train. We are trying to learn inner peace and peace with people and peace with nature. Those are the three ideas. Inner peace, peace with the people around us, and then peace with nature. That's our training camp here.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Working on that. That's what I'm working on now.
Oh, I see. Because that's something actually connected to for me too. I mean, because after I actually stopped being a Buddhist temple priest, but I'm like a freelance priest now. So which means, I just don't have a temple. That's what it means. So I don't have a temple belong to, but so in one way, I wanted to start to the Heiwa Peace Foundation. That's the foundation that you may not know. But 2 years ago,
but I just heard about that, and it's
Yeah.
great. I'm so glad that you're doing that.
Yeah,
It's
so
cool.
because after I got 50, so I decided to do, I just wanted to focus a little bit more what I wanted to do. So I just feel like my life goes to the peace, and even like Buddhist teaching itself is make me go to that particular area of the peace. So maybe I just decide to found the organization. So that's the 2 years ago. And but then the understanding itself is first of all for like three things is like one for me was continue for the Hiroshima and Nagasaki because when I'm from Osaka, by the way, if you know or not. So in a way it's not Hiroshima nor Nagasaki, and but somehow my I wasn't planning to be a peace activist or anything like that at the same time, like you, in a way. But somehow, guided to that way, and I just decided to take that particular step. And then I learned from many things from the hibakusha and all the stories how important this could be. And then as a Japanese person, I can do also more things and responsible to talk about those things. So that's how I start involved. And then since I have a Hewa Foundation, but then I have the kind of same idea too, similar idea at least, to talk about how you create the peace. And then so I talk about actually proactive peace building, because a lot of time there's so many reactive type of things in the United States. So but then I just wanted to have more fundamental way, so which is starting from the mind, peaceful mind, and a peaceful even word, and then peaceful actions. Those three things that I would just try to focus on. And then the last thing is like third thing is like an interface, since I've been involved for the interface part. And then also have what do you call it, like a dialogue, basically. So that's the component that I have, main components for the Hewa Foundation. And so this anniversary, 75th anniversary of the Hiroshima, the one in internet. I don't know how you translate 国際会議場 in Hiroshima.
Yeah, the International Conference Center.
That's what it. Okay. So I reserve that for do something, and then we just basically do the peace concert and the peace prayer, and on August 6th. So that
is so great. I really wish I could take part in that, but I'm already committed to another project, which is 24-hour broadcast. So I'm going to be completely doing that for the whole day.
So which means I can take this part to play, some part of it, for our what do you call it, events.
Please do.
75th anniversary, if you don't mind. Free. And then and then do you have any? So I wanted to ask you also, like, do you have any particular thoughts? Because this is a 75th anniversary. What do you mean the 75th anniversary for you?
Well, when people talk about the 75th anniversary over here, the first thing that comes into their mind is that nothing will grow for 75 years. That's the phrase in Hiroshima. A very strong rumor that people believed that at first. That because of the radiation, which no one knew anything about radiation at that time, but they just knew there was some kind of strange thing happening here. And the rumor took off that nothing will grow in Hiroshima for 75 years. Of course, plants started coming up immediately. They did not wait any years at all. But still, the idea that nothing will grow for 75 years is meaningful right now, because right now we really need the anti-nuclear movement and peace movement to grow. And it's not been dead. There have been many things have happened, but the anti-nuclear movement has not really entered human consciousness in a big way. Most people do not think about nuclear weapons every day, right? It's just not part of their daily life. But we need to have a serious global consciousness raising about nuclear weapons. Because right now, and after 75 years, it's time for this to grow. That's the way I'm thinking.
Okay.
About it.
So that's a interesting image. That's sure. So something new that I knew actually old, but it's very important.
Yeah.
Things should be grown.
And it would be beautiful if something did grow now, and then and so the original rumor will turn out to be a prophecy. Right?
Yeah, that's true. Maybe like even like coronavirus. That might help because how much of the money that they spend for the the nuclear weapons. If you stop nuclear weapons, then you can use those money to help all the people. Maybe. Yeah, I mean that's a simple calculation. Because
that is
billions of dollars.
That is so true. We spend $1 trillion a year on nuclear weapons. Everyone, all the countries. We spend huge amount of money on. I'm not sure it's $1 trillion a year.
I don't know.
But hundreds of billions of dollars a year we spend
a lot of money
on
for sure.
Nuclear weapons and delivery systems and all of the infrastructure for this.
Right.
That money could be spent much more wisely helping the people who need help. Yeah. And making the world move in a more peaceful direction. So it would be wonderful if we could make that happen now after 75 years.
Because even like this is like a strange part of the coronavirus, but it just changed in a lot of ways for everyone, everything. Everyone, I guess, the human beings is all affected, but then the nature itself is getting restored themselves pretty well. And so hopefully, they will really restore. Earth doesn't need the nuclear weapons, probably.
Yeah. What I hope is that it will become so obvious that we need to cooperate. Yeah. That nuclear weapons will be perceived as ridiculous. And
why we need.
But I really believe that the very first problem we have to solve is nuclear weapons. And that's not because of the weapons. It's because behind the weapons is a highly competitive, violent mindset that keeps us from cooperating. We are unable to cooperate for global warming, for example, because China will blame America, America blames China, the global South blames the global North, the global North is blaming each other, and everyone is trying to preserve their own wealth and preserve their own position
or power
or attack somebody's position. And nobody is actually cooperating to solve this problem. And the competitiveness and animosity that is embodied in a nuclear weapon keeps us from being able to cooperate. We know, even if we're not thinking about it, we know that we could be killed at any minute by nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons could come and kill all of us any minute. And so we have a fear. There's a deep fear in us about that. And we want to be protected. And because we want to be protected, we give all our money to the military. The military asks for something, we give them more than they ask for. In the U.S. we do.
Right.
And everybody is thinking that we have enemies. We have enemies around us. And these enemies could kill us. And in a way that's true. But if we can't graduate from that animosity to a cooperative feeling that we have to keep this planet habitable, we have to do what we have to do to keep the soil healthy and the water healthy and the air healthy and keep ourselves alive on this planet. If we can't get there, we're doomed. And it's not the weapons, it's the competitiveness that we have to get rid of. But I do think that if we were to take nuclear weapons and say, no, we are not going to use these ridiculously expensive and dangerous and just horrible doomsday machines, we are not going to use them, that would be a huge step toward the kind of cooperation that we need. And so people say, oh yeah, you're from Hiroshima, so you care about nuclear weapons. But I don't think it's just being from Hiroshima. I think this animosity is our obstacle, and we have to overcome it.
Yeah, sounds interesting. How we can do is a big challenges, of course. But yeah, no.
I know I don't need to convince you of this. You've been doing this. You've been on this case for a long time. So,
but at the same time, yeah, it's always the. But you never know when things change anyway. So you know, it's just.
And it could be the virus makes us aware that we really have to cooperate because of this virus and other viruses that will come in the future.
Yeah, are we fighting? Right, are we fighting
see ourselves as a society, not as a bunch of competing entities. You know.
So in a way, we're fighting each other, but there's no time for fighting each other. But maybe we need to taking care of the coronavirus first. So maybe we need to gather or something like that, I guess. But
that's right. I mean, we do not have time. We do not have time to have another world war. You know.
I mean, that's end of the environments too. I mean, the Earth itself is going to be very suffer. You know, after that.
The Earth will be disgusted with us and will throw us right off. I think.
That's true. So I have one question. So since you've been doing for a long time now, but then what makes you move to continue? I'm just curious about. Is there any key things in your mind and this whatever the experience you have make you continue to this, towards the peace, or I'm just curious. You started a little different parts, and then now it's in just, that become your life, or more like.
I believe that I have come to believe that this is my mission. I have a mission on Earth, and my mission is to put the idea of peace culture into human consciousness. That's my mission and my goal. And so, no matter, I don't care really whether I succeed or not, but I want to keep on working on this mission.
Okay. Sure.
And I feel like this is. It's just something I have to do. And I do actually, now we get into kind of spiritual territory, but I believe that that I have a spirit, and this spirit goes somewhere after I die.
Okay.
And my spirit will be in better shape after I die if I work on my mission here. Okay. If I do this mission here, I will be in better. I will do better in the next world.
Okay.
Than if I just say, I don't care about this world, or I don't, I'm tired. I don't want to. There's no hope. I give up. That makes you have a bad vibration, right?
Right.
And then that caused me to not be. So successful in the next world. So, I'm I do this for the next world.
Okay. So it's like the